What if everything you've been told about retirement is completely wrong? Not slightly off. Completely wrong. Right now, thousands of retirees have quietly packed their bags, left the country, and are living better lives on a single Social Security check than most working Americans live on a full salary. Ocean views, year-round sunshine, zero income tax on their pensions, and they're doing it on $1,500 a month. Here's the math that should make you angry. The average retiree needs $4,800 a month to live modestly in the US. The average Social Security check, just $1,900. That's a nearly $3,000 shortfall every single month. And nobody's offering a real solution, except the people who've already left. We dug through cost of living indexes, expat forums, retirement visa requirements, healthcare rankings, and first-hand reports from real retirees on the ground. We found 5 English-speaking islands where $1,500 doesn't just get you by, it gets you a life. Both sides, the good and the catch, because that's what you actually need. Counting down 5 to 1, stay until number 1. That's the island nobody's talking about yet, and the secret is still a secret. Number 5, Gozo, Malta. Say that name out loud, Gozo. Most Americans have never heard of it. That's the point. When people think affordable retirement island, their minds go to the Caribbean, Southeast Asia, Latin America. Almost nobody thinks Mediterranean Europe, which is exactly why Gozo might be the single most underrated retirement secret on this entire list. Malta is a tiny island nation sitting in the heart of the Mediterranean Sea, wedged between Sicily to the north and the coast of North Africa to the south. A real functioning EU country with ancient walled cities, dramatic limestone cliffs, turquoise coves, and over 300 days of sunshine per year. Gozo is Malta's quieter, smaller, cheaper sister island, just a 25-minute ferry ride from the Maltese mainland. Malta was a British colony for over 150 years. English is not just widely spoken here, it is an official language. Road signs, government forms, your doctor, your landlord, all in English. You will never feel lost or excluded. A single retiree in Gozo can realistically get by on $1,300 to $1,500 a month. Rent for a furnished one-bedroom runs $400 to $600. A week's groceries costs around $40 to $50. A restaurant meal with wine runs $10 to $15. And Malta's flat 15% tax rate on foreign-sourced income, your pension, your IRA, your Social Security, is almost laughably favorable compared to the US system. Healthcare is ranked top 10 in Europe by the World Health Organization. Public healthcare is available to residents. Private care costs a fraction of the US. So why is Gozo only number 5? Because here's the catch. Malta is small, 26 square miles, and it's getting noticeably more popular with European expats, driving rental costs up faster than almost anywhere else in the Mediterranean. The residency application process can be slow and bureaucratic. Direct flights from the US are limited. Most require at least one connection. If you visit family frequently, that journey gets expensive fast. Still, for European living with Englishese, Mediterranean beauty, real healthcare, and a budget inside $1,500, Gozo is quietly extraordinary, and most people have never heard of it. Number 4, Dominica, not the Dominican Republic. Don't mix those up, they are completely different countries. Dominica is a small island in the eastern Caribbean, part of the Lesser Antilles chain, sitting between Guadeloupe and Martinique, and it has earned one of the most beautiful nicknames in the entire Caribbean, the Nature Island. While its neighbors built resorts and casinos and cruise ship terminals, Dominica chose a different path. Over 60% covered in rainforest, 9 active volcanoes, natural hot springs, waterfalls so you can swim under, whale watching from shore, snorkeling over coral reefs, hiking trails through jungle so dense it feels prehistoric, and a coastline that has never been overtaken by the mass tourism that has swallowed most of the Caribbean. English is the official language of former British colony, independent since 1978, and daily life operates entirely in English. You don't need to learn a word of anything else. The cost of living, genuinely startling. Approximately 50% lower than the United States. A one-bedroom apartment in Roseau can be found for $300 to $500 a month. Local food markets overflow with fresh produce, fish, and tropical fruit at prices so low, first-time visitors think they're reading the signs wrong. Eating at a local restaurant costs $5 to $8 per meal. A single retiree living comfortably in Dominica can do so on $1,100 to $1,300 a month. An American receiving only the average Social Security benefit would be considered comfortably well off here. Think about what that means for your quality of life. Healthcare has improved significantly with a new hospital and upgraded facilities. Private care is affordable, and the Dominican government actively courts foreign retirees. Long-term residency is accessible, and the expat community is welcoming in a way that feels genuinely different from more tourist-heavy islands. But the catches are worth taking seriously. First, infrastructure. Power outages happen. Internet can be unreliable in rural areas. Second, hurricanes. In 2017, Hurricane Maria devastated Dominica, a Category 5 that destroyed an estimated 90% of buildings. The recovery was remarkable, but that's the reality of living in the hurricane belt. Budget seriously for insurance. Third, no direct flights from the continental US. You're looking at a 12 to 18-hour journey minimum through connecting hubs. And fourth, Dominica is hilly, almost mountainous. If you have mobility challenges, the terrain is a practical consideration that matters more as we age. But for nature lovers, budget-conscious retirees, and anyone wanting to feel genuinely away from the noise of modern life while staying in an English-speaking country with real community, Dominica is extraordinary, and still affordable enough that most retirees with any fixed income can make it work. Number 3, Roatan, Honduras. I know what some of you just thought. Honduras. You tensed up a little. Honduras has a reputation, and we're going to address that head on, because ignoring it would be dishonest. But first, let me paint you a picture. Roatan is a 31-mile-long, 5-mile-wide sliver of island sitting off the northern coast of Honduras in the Western Caribbean, inside one of the most biodiverse marine environments on Earth. The Mesoamerican Barrier Reef, the second largest coral reef system in the world. The water is so clear you can see the reef from your boat before you even put on a mask. Scuba divers fly in from every corner of the planet specifically to dive here. The beaches, the sunsets, the community, genuinely one of the most beautiful places expats describe living in. Honduras is Spanish-speaking, but Roatan is different. English is the dominant language in most expat areas, tourist zones, and service industries. You will not struggle to communicate. The money is where Roatan gets serious. Honduras's retirement visa requires a minimum monthly income of just $1,500. Legal, documented residency indefinitely. Plus, exemptions on import duties, your car, furniture, belongings, no heavy customs fees. Cost of living sits between $1,000 and $1,400 per month for a single retiree living comfortably. Rent near the beach runs $300 to $500. Fresh seafood caught that morning is a normal Tuesday dinner. Dining out costs $8 to $12 per meal. The Global Retirement Index consistently ranks Roatan among the top 10 most affordable retirement destinations in the Western Hemisphere. Healthcare has improved significantly with reputable private clinics and English-speaking doctors on the island, but for serious medical issues, most expats travel to the mainland or the US. Good international health insurance is not optional. And honestly, for any destination on this list, having the right coverage before you land is the one thing that separates a smooth move from a disaster. I've linked what I personally recommend in the description. It's essential. The expat community is genuinely special. Small enough to feel like a real community, large enough that you'll never feel isolated. Weekly meetups, established groups, people who look out for each other. Now, the catch. Honduras has one of the highest violent crime rates in Latin America. That needs to be said clearly. However, the vast majority is concentrated in specific urban areas on the mainland. Roatan is geographically separated, tourist and expat driven, and violent crime against expats is genuinely rare. That said, petty theft happens. Basic security, gated housing, common sense at night is necessary. Don't let comfort become carelessness. Infrastructure inconsistency is real. Roads range from fine to rough. Power outages happen during storm season. Internet has improved but isn't always reliable. And Roatan is being discovered fast. Prices in desirable areas are creeping up. The ground floor window is not unlimited. The verdict: for someone who loves water sports, wants genuine community, and takes personal security seriously, This island offers a quality of life completely disproportionate to what it costs. Number 2, the Philippines, specifically the islands of Cebu and Palawan. Two completely different experiences, both extraordinary, both English-speaking, both affordable beyond belief. The Philippines has over 7,600 islands. This isn't one destination, it's an entire world. White sand beaches that rival the Maldives, world-class scuba diving, rice terraces carved into mountains 2,000 years ago, bustling modern cities with shopping malls, hospitals, and international restaurants, and a culture that is genuinely, warmly, deeply, one of the most welcoming to Americans of anywhere on Earth. Here's why. The Philippines was an American territory from 1898 to 1946. Nearly 50 years of shared history. American culture wove itself into Filipino life in ways still visible today. In the music, the food, the architecture, the deep familiarity with American customs. Filipinos don't just tolerate Americans, they like Americans. There's a warmth toward US expats that you simply don't feel everywhere. And the language. English is one of 2 official languages. Every government document, every school class, every hospital form, available in English. You can arrive knowing 0 Filipino and live there for the rest of your life without ever needing to learn it. That's not an exaggeration. That's daily reality. Now the retirement visa, because this is where the Philippines absolutely stands apart. The Special Resident Retirees Visa with the SRRV is one of the most generous retirement programs in the world. The right to live indefinitely, no annual renewal, multiple entry privileges. And this is the part that matters most. Government-mandated discounts on hotels, restaurants, transportation, entertainment, and medical services specifically for SRRV holders. You are being actively, formally rewarded for choosing to retire here. The cost of living in Cebu City, excellent hospitals, international restaurants, a massive expat community, some of the best infrastructure outside Manila, sits at around $900 to $1,300 per month for a single retiree living well. Not bare bones. Well, rent for a modern 1-bedroom in a safe neighborhood, $300 to $500. A full meal at a good local restaurant, $3 to $6. Healthcare at a private hospital with English-speaking doctors and modern equipment, a fraction of US costs. No insurance approval required. Palawan is a different experience entirely. If Cebu is city meets island, Palawan is pure untouched paradise. Voted one of the world's most beautiful islands multiple times. Limestone karst formations, an underground river, lagoons that look painted. It's quieter, more rural. But for someone who wants to truly escape, it's incomparable. Now, the catches. First, traffic and air pollution in urban areas. Manila is notorious for some of the worst traffic in Asia. Cebu is more manageable, but has its own congestion. Many expats solve this by choosing neighborhoods close to what they need. Second, typhoons. The Philippines sits in one of the world's most active typhoon corridors. Around 20 pass through every year, with 8 to 9 making direct landfall. Some are manageable. Some, like Haiyan in 2013, are catastrophic. Where you live on which island matters enormously. Palawan and Cebu are less exposed than the eastern Visayas, but no part of the country is completely immune. Third, bureaucracy. Government offices move slowly. Visa requirements can change with little warning. The SRRV program requires working through the Philippine Retirement Authority, legitimate and established, but known for moving at its own pace. Budget time and patience. Fourth, internet infrastructure in rural areas is still genuinely poor. Cebu City has fast, reliable internet in expat-friendly neighborhoods. Remote islands, far less so. If you need consistent video calls with family, choose your location carefully. And fifth, certain parts of the Philippines, specifically in Mindanao and some southern islands, carry active U.S. State Department travel advisories. These areas are geographically distinct from where most expats live, but stay aware of current conditions. None of those catches diminish how remarkable this country is for retirement. English language, extraordinary natural beauty, warm culture, a government that actively courts retirees with a formal visa and real discounts, and a cost of living that makes $1,500 feel like luxury. The Philippines is a complete package. And yet, we still have number 1. Number 1, Penang, Malaysia. And before you say a word, I know, Malaysia. Probably not what you expected, so let me ask you something. What if I told you there's an island where you can rent a fully furnished air-conditioned apartment in a safe, walkable neighborhood for $400 a month, where world-class private hospitals have English-speaking staff and charge you $30 for a consultation that costs $300 in the US, where the food has been ranked among the best in the entire world, where the beaches are 20 minutes from the city, and the cultural scene is so rich it takes years to fully explore, and where a single retiree can live an extraordinary life, not a frugal one, an extraordinary one, on under $1,500 a month. That island is Penang. Malaysia is a former British colony, independent since 1957. English is the second official language used in business, education, law, and daily life. In Penang specifically, English is everywhere. On menus, shop signs, in conversations between strangers of different ethnic backgrounds who use it as their common tongue. You will not struggle to communicate here, not even slightly. The Malaysia. My Second Home program, MM2H, is a long-term residency visa designed specifically for foreign retirees. Running for over 2 decades, tens of thousands of foreigners, including thousands of Americans, have used it to build their lives here. The budget breakdown in real terms. Rent for a quality furnished 1-bedroom, $400 to $650 per month. A 2-bedroom with a view still sits at $800 to $1,000. Groceries. $100 to $150 per month eating well. The wet markets overflow with fresh vegetables, seafood, and tropical fruits at prices that feel impossibly cheap. Eating out is where Penang earns its legendary status. One of the top-ranked food destinations on Earth. The hawker culture, outdoor stalls serving generations-old recipes for a $1 to $3 per dish, means you eat spectacularly well for almost nothing. Char Kway Teow, Penang Laksa, Nasi Lemak, Hokkien Mee, refined over 100 years, cooked fresh, served hot under the night sky. You will never get bored. You will never miss the food back home. Transportation. Most expats walk, use Grab, or buy a simple scooter. Monthly costs. $40 to $80. Healthcare deserves special attention. Penang has several internationally accredited private hospitals, Gleneagles, Penang Adventist, Island Hospital, staffed by doctors trained in the UK, Australia, and the US. A specialist consultation costs $25 to $40. An MRI runs $150 to $250. Common procedures cost 70 to 80% less than the United States. Wait times measured in hours, not weeks. Beyond the money, Penang has a UNESCO World Heritage Historic District, Georgetown, filled with centuries-old shophouses, street art, cafes, and night markets, hiking trails, beaches, a cable car to Penang Hill, international shopping malls alongside local charm, a well-established expat community with organized groups and resources for navigating the visa process. Now the honest downsides. First, the heat. Between 85 and 92 degrees Fahrenheit virtually every day with humidity to match. Most expats acclimatize, but some never fully adjust. If you have heart or respiratory conditions, this is a genuine medical consideration. Second, the MM2H visa overhaul in 2021 made it more expensive and restrictive. Financial requirements went up substantially. Worth monitoring closely if you're seriously considering this. Third, alcohol is heavily taxed, making beer and wine notably more expensive than most of Southeast Asia. Fourth, Malaysian immigration can be slow and inconsistent. A local agent or lawyer for the MM2H process is highly recommended. And fifth, Penang is becoming more popular. Rental prices in expat neighborhoods are creeping up. The window at where $1,500 gets you true luxury may not stay open indefinitely. But when you add it all up, language, healthcare, food, infrastructure, safety, community, and quality of life per dollar spent, nothing else on this list comes close. International Living, HSBC, Forbes, the Global Retirement Index, thousands of retirees chose Penang and stayed. A single retiree at $1,500, comfortable, safe, stimulating, beautiful, surrounded by some of the kindest people and most extraordinary food on the planet. That's number one. And it's not particularly close. 5 islands, 5 different trade-offs. Every single one offering something the United States simply cannot. A life that fits inside $1,500 a month without sacrificing dignity, comfort, or joy. Gozo, Malta, European beauty, English culture, flat 15% tax. Dominica, 50% cheaper than the US, raw Caribbean nature. Roatan, world-class diving, real community, budget that's hard to beat. The Philippines, 7,600 islands, generous retirement visa, deep warmth toward Americans. And Penang, first world infrastructure, legendary food, world-class healthcare, at prices that shouldn't even be possible. Now here's the part most retirement videos conveniently skip. Not every destination abroad is a safe landing. Some countries that looked perfect on paper 2 years ago have quietly become dangerous for retirees. And some countries that once welcomed Americans with open arms have, for political, economic, and cultural reasons, started pushing back hard. We've already done that research too. The countries where your safety is genuinely at risk in 2026. The countries where the welcome mat has been pulled. That information is sitting right there on your screen. And honestly, it's just as important as everything we covered today. Because a great retirement isn't just about finding the right place. It's about avoiding the wrong ones. Do the research. Visit first. The world is wider than you think, but not all of it is waiting for you.